Watch this video, then we'll talk. It's super important.
You all know that I'm constantly talking about reading the fine print, doing the research, doing the quote unquote boring work, and this is exactly why. House Resolution 5300, Department of State Policy Provisions Act, was introduced on September 11th, 2025, by Representative Brian Mast of Florida's 21st District to the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. And there are lots of red flags throughout this text, but what you need to pay attention to specifically, at least from my point of view, is the fact that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, would be allowed to revoke U.S. citizens' passports based on their speaking out and not aligning with Israel. And if you don't know about Project Esther, now is the time to learn. You can go listen to my podcast, which the second episode breaks down Project Esther completely. And you need to know that they are going to use this sort of veil of anti-Semitism to take those who are liberals and leftists and progressives and socialists and all the other things that they are not, and paint them as terrorists. So when you speak out and you don't align with Israel, you will then have the opportunity to have your words used against you, and then the State Department can revoke your passport, making it impossible for you to enter another country. And if you cannot leave the country, then you are at the mercy and will of whatever else the government has going on at that point in time. Go to congress.gov, make a free account. You can set alerts on any piece of legislation. Go make an alert for this. Hopefully it doesn't move any further than this, but keep your eyes wide open.
So after I saw that video, clearly I was very alarmed for all of my friends, loved ones, and community members that are still in the United States and would like to get out. So I decided to do some digging into this document, and it is quite a long document. And I do mean quite a long document. This that we're getting ready to see is just the table of contents. So I was reading through this and I was like, okay, which of these could be what she was talking about? Now, there were a couple of things in here that caught my eye, and I'll make other videos about that. But more specifically, this one, wait for it. I see you. There you are. Section 226, no passports for terrorists and traffickers. I think that was what she was talking. So I decided to dive in. So we're going to dive in together because there's a lot in here that I think we need to be paying attention to. If what I am seeing is accurate, then it's not just going to be targeting people that were speaking out against Israel's regime in the Middle East. Also, hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living on this platform. But also, for those of you who don't know, so I'm an award-nominated journalist within the hospitality sector, which also includes travel. So I'm clocking a lot of what is happening in the travel sector internationally. I'm currently based in Bangkok. So, and I've been really, really concerned for a while with some of my other friends who have made the transition out of the United States. So me and another Black woman, her name is Candace, we launched a platform called Black Babes Abroad. It is free. We go live once a week, minimum of once a week at this point, to give resources to help people navigate their move outside of the United States. Because clearly, this is the thing that the United States government is going to be locking down on. If you ask me, I don't want to panic anybody. But anyway, let's just dive into this. If you're interested in moving abroad and you want more resources as quickly as possible, head on to the Substack. A link is in the bio. A link is in the description. We also have a free checklist that'll help you get yourself in order to move abroad as quickly and succinctly as possible. That is also for free in the description. But yeah, definitely head on to the Substack. There's a lot more resources on there. And I have a bunch of other lives that are scheduled. So definitely make reminders for those. That way you could hop on, ask your questions. Yes. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, let's dive into it. So in my little look-see doodle, we're right over here, Section 4, authority to deny or revoke passports to individuals providing material support for terrorism. We're going to be diving into, there's a lot to unpack just in the title alone, but very, very close to the top here, I saw that when it comes to ineligibility, one, issuance, right here, has been charged with or convicted of a violation of Section 2339A or 2339B of Title 18 United States Code. I don't know what that means, but it sounded important, so I looked it up. So basically, this is saying that 2339A is about material support for terrorism, and that's not specific to like whether that's domestic or foreign, but B is specific to foreign terrorism, and that includes material support or resources that is tangible or intangible, and I think that goes for both. So the one that I think is going to affect the people that the first creator was talking about the most is in the A, the 2339A, which is right above me. So outlaws providing material support or resources for the preparation or carrying out of specific federal crimes of terrorism or for concealing an escape from such a crime. Key aspects applies to support provided for a broad range of designated federal crimes of terrorism. The intent of the perpetrator is critical. It has an example, but here's my thing. Here's my thing when it comes to this. This administration has been trying to label peaceful protesters, regardless of if it is especially if it is not pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, or if they are Black Lives Matter protesters, or if it really is any kind of protester that is here for human rights, but especially if it's against the colonial state of Israel. They've been trying to label them as domestic terrorists. And then with what is going on with Charlie Kirk, rest in pieces, there has been an ongoing effort to frame him as not a podcaster, not just some dude with a mic, but as a political figure. They're trying to say that he was assassinated because he was a quote unquote political figure. So they're saying a lot of quiet parts out loud with this. And they're saying that here, if you have been convicted, because there have been people that have been arrested for speaking out negatively against Charlie Kirk's death or against Palestine, or oh my gosh, or against Israel, or against like a lot of what's going on in the Middle East, or against the murder of Black people historically and currently in this country, people have been arrested for this. So they're saying that they're trying to frame this as also quote unquote domestic terrorism. Now, meanwhile, there are obviously already domestic terrorists in the United States. The Klan is alive, well, and thriving. There are so many white nationalists that have just been pew-pewing children, marginalized people everywhere. I have so many videos about this, right? So there's already domestic terrorists, but that's not likely who they're going to be going for with this. But Shayna, that's just for the issuance of a passport. That's not necessarily saying that they're going to be revoking a passport. Just scroll down. Just scroll down. Point two, revocation. The Secretary of State shall accept as provided in paragraph 3A, which is below, revoke a passport previously issued to any individual described in paragraph 1. What's paragraph 1? This issuance right here, right here. This is paragraph 1. This is paragraph 1. The thing we just talked about was paragraph 1. So what are some of the things that would be included as help, as monetary assistance, or as, providing assistance to what this fascist regime is labeling as potential, quote unquote, terrorism? Including currency or monetary instruments or financial securities, financial services, lodging, training, expert advice or assistance, safe houses, false documentation or identification, communications equipment, facilities, weapons, lethal substances, explosives, personnel, one or more individuals who may be or include oneself, and transportation, excluding medicine or religious materials, so like a Bible. Now, why do I think that this list is also very important when we consider how they're potentially trying to expand what the definition of a terrorist is under a fascist regime? This also makes me very nervous for healthcare providers, especially healthcare providers that are trying to prioritize the safety of anybody with a uterus. As of a few days ago, it was reported on Everyday Abortion that the administration has officially has officially labeled the pill, the birth control pill, as abortion. So we are there, and the attacks that have been going out against healthcare providers in this country have been grotesque and terrifying, to say the least. And I'm seeing when it comes, and the amount of networks that people have been trying to make to help get women and people with uteruses the care that they need to survive, because so many people have been dying because of the mortality. The maternal mortality rate has truly been plummeting in the United States, but the reporting of it has been getting less and less funding for obvious reasons. And this also makes me incredibly nervous for community organizers. Like, there's a lot of people that are going to be, a lot of people, a lot of organizations that are here to help that could, under this regime, fall under these categories. Now, I, Shayna, would love to be wrong. I don't like the fact that thunder just happened. Oh no, quite literally, a storm is brewing. I would love to be wrong. I just want us to be paying attention to things, in case I'm not. And I will be making another video about something that I saw in this list that nobody has been talking about. This right here, Special Advisor for Assistance to Orphans and Vulnerable Children. I'm concerned. I read this and I have some questions. Whenever that video is live, I'm going to be putting it right up in the corner. But please, y'all, be safe out there. As of today, September 17th, it has just been introduced. It has not been passed in the House or Senate or gone to the it's just been introduced. So please keep an eye out for this one.